Some roads are shortcuts. Some roads are destinations. And then there are roads that feel like they were never meant to be traveled on at all. Tucked away in Champlain, New York, near the marshes and wetlands that bleed into Lake Champlain and, well, the Canadian border, lies one of those roads, Cattail Road. On paper, it's just another rural byway, but anyone who's driven it after dark will tell you a much different story. They're going to tell you about headlights swallowed by fog, shadows slipping between the reeds, and the uneasy sense that the road itself is watching. Tonight, we're not just looking for a street name. Today, we're going to step into a place where history, legend, and mystery blur together. Welcome to Street Sign Storytime. Can't thank you enough for taking some time to be here. How did we come up with this name? Well, recently we took a little bit of a trip to Champlain, New York, and a little bit of a trip, about a 5-hour round-trip drive. Stopped through Malone, New York. Ate at Moe's twice. I found the Pine Tavern, I think, Pine Pub. I forget the name of it. It was pretty busy. We didn't get an opportunity to eat there. But as we went up there for the soccer game in Champlain, New York, at the old Northeast Clinton High School, we found a road name that made the list. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Because if you haven't been up to Champlain, New York, it's very different. And it's the definition of a border town. It was founded in the late 1700s, and it was named for Samuel de Champlain, the French explorer, first mapped this region centuries earlier. For as long as the town has existed, it has been a meeting point, a crossing point, and sometimes a hiding place. The geography tells the story. Wide stretches of farmland roll into wetlands that feed Lake Champlain. The St. Lawrence River is not far to the west, and Canada sits literally a stone's throw away. Roads here often follow the natural edges of the landscape, curving around swamps, cutting through forests, or skirting the borders of farm and their fields. Cattail Road is one of those roads, hugging a marshy stretch where reeds grow taller than the average person, and the land feels soft underfoot, almost like it's not finished forming. On a sunny day, it looks harmless, picturesque even, but Champlain has always lived in the shadow of conflict and smuggling. It was a strategic spot during the War of 1812. It became a hub for cross-border trade, both legal and not so legal. And when you set the history against a swampy road that already feels eerie, you get the perfect recipe for legends. And Cattail Road has earned a little bit of a reputation as kind of one of those places locals don't linger. It's not haunted in the Hollywood sense. There's no single ghost story tied neatly with a bow that we were able to find out. Instead, it's a patchwork of unsettling experiences. Headlights flickering out, unexplained fog banks, phantom lights moving through the cattails. Take, for example, the story of the Lantern Man. In the 1960s, a woman driving home late claimed she saw a bobbing lantern weaving its way through cattails, moving with the unmistakable rhythm of a person walking. She slowed her car, expecting to see a hunter, maybe a farmer, definitely not Bigfoot. But then the light vanished. There was no tracks, no voices, nothing. For the rest of her life, she swore she hadn't imagined it. And since then, people have reported seeing the same lantern glow on foggy nights. Some, they even claim if you follow it too closely, you're going to find yourself back where you started, driving in circles, like the cattails themselves are leading you astray. What makes these stories stick is that they're rooted in Champlain's real history. The marshes were once strategic cover. During the War of 1812, American and British forces both moved through the area. They used the reeds as cattails and natural camouflage. Soldiers disappeared into the wetlands. Some, they lost to gunfire. Others, to the swamp itself. And their bodies were rarely recovered, swallowed by mud and by time. Fast forward a century, and Cattail Road had a new set of secret visitors. Bootleggers. Prohibition turned Champlain into a pipeline. With Canada right next door, smuggling liquor across the border was practically a local industry. Trucks would pull off onto quiet little back roads like Cattail, unloading cargo under the cover of reeds taller than any fence. The marsh didn't just hide them, it muffled their sound too. Locals claim if you stand quietly on a Cattail Road long enough, you can still hear the faint hum of engines that should have gone silent 100 years ago. And folklore is one thing, but paranormal claims, that's where the Cattail Road really comes alive. Or, well, refuses to let the living pass unscathed. Drivers, they talk about engines cutting out for no reason. Radios, blaring static, only go silent when they leave the road. And then there's the figures. Several people have described women in long dresses standing knee-deep in cattails. Men in old military coats with faces too pale to be real. Children barefoot, watching silently from the edge of the swamp. No one claims they come close. They just, vanish. Always, you guessed it, in the thickest of fog. And here's the strangest detail. When these sightings happen, the swamp goes quiet. No crickets, no frogs, no buzzing mosquitoes. Just pure silence. As if the swamp itself is holding its breath. If you ask around Champlain about Cattail Road, the reactions tell you everything. Older folks, they're going to brush it off. But you'll notice they don't laugh when they're probably supposed to. They're going to tell you in a flat voice, don't drive it after midnight. Don't stop if someone waves. Teenagers, they don't make theirs out of it. Every small town has that one road of kids used to test their courage. For Champlain, that's Cattail. Walk 100 yards down the road at midnight, no flashlight. Some make it, but most, they turn back long before, spooked by sounds they can't explain, with a feeling of eyes on their back. Then there are the farmers. One, now retired, once told a neighbor that the cattails on the road were different. When pressed, he said, they don't lean toward the sun like they should. They lean toward the road, like they're listening. He refused to elaborate. He also refused to ever drive that road at night. Cattail Road isn't famous. You're not going to find it in a guidebook or on a ghost tour or any of those brochures that you might find trying to find Champy. That's exactly what makes it powerful. It's a piece of Champlain's past still alive in the present. A road shaped by war, smuggling, and loss, where the swamp may hold more than cattails. So if you ever find yourself in Champlain and you see that narrow strip of asphalt cutting through the reeds, remember, it's not just a road. It's a memory, a warning, a story still being written in the whispers between the cattails. This has been Street Sign Storytime. Can't thank you enough. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody.